Hello, my name is Jeff Jackson, and I am the owner of Barefoot Properties in Belize, Central America. I am also a doctoral student at California Intercontinental University. I'd like to welcome you to my video. As part of my video series, I like to use props as a means of visualization so that I can convey the concept of what I'm trying to communicate to those who watch these videos. As you will note, I have a tool box here, which I'll use as my prop. Just as a mechanic or a tradesperson has a professional toolbox in which they keep all their tools of their trade, as a manager, I believe we should also have a professional toolbox where we keep the professional tools of our trade safely kept away, where we can access it and use it whenever we need it appropriately. It is my goal throughout these video series and these training sessions that I might be able to impart upon you some of the tools of the trade that I have learned as a manager and that have helped me in my career. I appreciate you watching this video, and I truly hope that some of these tools you'll find helpful throughout your career. Thank you.
As with any business investment, if a company is considering entering into the global market, they should perform their due diligence before risking their capital. In this training video, I will be reviewing some strategic logistical considerations that companies should analyze before entering into the global marketplace. As an overview of this training session, I will discuss why companies consider entering into global markets, the controllable and uncontrollable elements new entrances face, and lastly I will provide some final considerations that companies should review. Many organizations have a significant and growing presence in resource or demand markets outside of their country of origin. Many successful enterprises have realized that to survive and prosper, they must evolve and expand beyond their domestic strategy, policies, and programs and adopt a global view of business, customers, and competition. In concert with these new markets, global business expansion has led to significant changes in the international logistics operations of many organizations. In many highly developed countries such as Japan, Canada, the United States, and most countries in Western Europe, the supply chains and logistics systems are highly sophisticated. A firm entering these countries will find economies with good transportation systems, high technology warehousing, skilled workers, and a variety of logistics support systems. However, conditions may be different in less developed countries. Regardless of the country that a global business enters, their operations will involve global logistics, which is generally more expensive than domestic distribution. Increased shipping distances, documentation costs, larger inventory levels, longer order supply times, and other factors can combine to increase the expenses associated with international logistics. As companies conduct their due diligence in analyzing their business strategies, key to this analysis will be an in-depth review of controllable and uncontrollable elements that could impact their operations. According to Stock and Lambert 2001, there are 8 controllable elements that managers can have control over. The first is customer service. In most instances, organizations cannot provide the same consistency of service internationally that they are able to provide domestically. Therefore, customer service consistency is harder to achieve globally. Cost of customer service often varies between countries. Hewlett-Packard and Subaru of America are examples of companies that were able to gain competitive advantage internationally by improving their level of customer service. Inventory. International systems usually have more inventory points at more levels between suppliers and customers. Thus, multi-level inventory systems are more complex and more common than in domestic systems. These factors will need to be included when considering carrying costs, turnover rates, and larger inventory levels. Warehousing. The normal questions regarding the use of warehouse facilities in global marketing include: does the market for the organization's product justify a local warehouse? Is good warehouse labor available? How quickly do customers need products delivered? Are third parties an option? What are the relevant costs associated with public versus private warehousing? Transportation. In making transportation decisions, logistics decision makers need to consider the many differences between domestic and international transportation. Mode availability, carrier rates, regulatory restrictions, service levels required by customers, service capabilities of carriers, and other aspects of the transportation mix will likely vary from one market to another. Packaging. Factors influencing the design of packaging to be used in international movements are transportation mode, the carrier and handling characteristics, the climate, the possibilities of pilferage, freight rates, customs duties, and most important, the customer's requirements. Containers are widely used for packaging internationally. Labeling. Although labeling may appear to be a relatively minor aspect of global logistics, it should be noted that proper labeling is essential to the timely and efficient movement of products across international borders. All products in the supply chain should be adequately labeled to enhance logistics operations. Procurement. The concepts of integrated logistics management and cost trade-off analysis are still very important in the logistics area internationally. However, the relative importance of each logistics component may vary from market to market, as may the cost incurred in carrying out each activity. This results in different costs, service equations for which international market you're participating in. Information systems. It almost goes without saying that the Internet is one of the most powerful and useful resources available for obtaining information about almost every aspect of global commerce and logistics. International trade logistics software is also being used by organizations involved in international manufacturing and commerce to increase the efficiency and maximize clear business communications. Now that we have reviewed the controllable elements of global logistics, let's review the uncontrollable elements and outline some ideas to mitigate their impact. Economic. In a global economy, economic activity goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Information is transmitted by satellite and computer technologies with the constraints of national boundaries. Inflation is particularly important to organizations generally and logistics management specifically. The specific impact of inflation on logistics will depend on the following factors: what type of business you operate, the inventory evaluation methods that you use, the age of the business and its assets, the composition of expenditures, and the capital structure of your business. Competition. In a global market, organizations will continually face increasing competitive pressures from many sources, but there are 5 means by which businesses can respond to competition using logistics strategies. Consider increasing the number of cross-national partnerships, alliances, mergers, and acquisitions. Review the expansion of many previously domestic-based organizations into international markets and identify what worked and did not work for them. Prepare to develop and launch global communications networks capable of operating 24 hours a day. Pinpoint the proposed establishment of country and regional warehouses in major world markets. And identify and develop relationships with the logistics service providers that offer transportation, storage, materials handling, and other services on a global basis. Technology. Significant improvements in computer hardware and software, coupled with the reduction in the cost to produce them, have resulted in their widespread adoption and implementation. Problems that some businesses face regarding new technology is that it can speed up product obsolescence, making logistics system inefficiencies more critical, and additional products will undergo technological obsolescence. This is a key reason why the most prosperous global businesses conduct technological forecasting as part of their strategic business plan. Geography. Geography is important because of the varying topography of areas and how it affects products that are being transported between locations. Additionally, the distribution of population centers may also vary from one country to another, which can impact transportation and warehouse and skilled labor availability. Social and cultural. Social and cultural elements of business is important because it affects how and why individuals, groups, and societies live and behave as they do. This environment includes how people express themselves, how they think, how they move, how problems are addressed and solved, how employees relate to organizations for which they work, how transportation systems are organized, and how economic and government systems are put together and function. Lastly, the political and legal elements, if not addressed early on, could undermine any business global expansion plans. Of specific concern are certain marketing and logistics actions that may be prohibited in some countries, and some actions may be mandatory or limited in some way either by law, religion, or by custom. One of the final considerations a company should make in regards to their mission statement and their vision. More and more companies are expanding into operations into global markets, and as organizations serve customers in various countries, they must establish logistics systems to provide the products and services these customers demand. To meet these broad goals and to target customers and markets, a corporate mission statement is needed. A proper mission statement will profile the principal products and services, focus upon core technologies, plan for survival, growth, and profitability, project the company philosophy, self-concept, and the firm's desired public image. In conclusion, to be global, a company must be able to coordinate a set of activities, marketing, production, financing, and procurement. By evaluating all of the controllable and uncontrollable elements that could affect their operations, businesses can analyze their potential market impact and competitive advantage in targeting international markets. This concludes my training video. Thank you for watching.